Welcome to the Mouse Pals podcast. I'm Andrew, and I'm here with my pal Jeff.
Hi, everybody.
This is a 30-minute show about all talk about Disney parks and properties. We'll bring you the news and dive deep into the most interesting Disney topics. We have, like always, it seems, we have just a ton of news.
Absolutely.
Ton of news, yeah. So we'll just dive right in.
That's right.
Well, big news, kind of leading news right now is that there are new Disney theme park hours for all four of the different parks. The hours have been scaled back.
Well, I guess it's not unusual since Universal did the same. However, more people will be going to Disney than to Universal, which is a little concerning, but, Disney does sometimes reduce their hours during the fall time. Granted, this has to do with the attendance numbers.
All right. Yeah, and I mean, I guess just as expensive to keep them open those couple extra hours. And yeah, so Magic Kingdom is scaling back. They're going to be open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is a little shorter than the 7 p.m. which it previously was.
Mm-hmm.
Epcot is actually going back 2 hours, so it opens at 11 a.m. and is going to be closing instead of at 9 p.m. It's going to be closing at 7 p.m.
Wow, 2 whole hours.
Yeah, those are big 2 hours, especially since you're used to Epcot closing around that 9 p.m. So after fireworks when it's dark outside.
Yeah, well, if you got no fireworks, I guess you're gonna shut it down early if there's not going to be enough people.
That's right. Yeah, no traction. And Hollywood Studios is right now it's 10 a.m. Going to be opening at 10 a.m., which is the same, and it's going back from 8 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And Animal Kingdom is going from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is an hour less than the previous 6 p.m.
Yeah, those animals need to sleep.
They do, which I think actually that dusk time is usually when they're the most active, right? Yeah, yes. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's just when they are about to get active, we have to get out of the park.
Well, right when it starts getting cool again.
Yeah, that's true. I like to actually be there later at night when it's cooler out, but whatever.
That's right. Well, obviously we can understand, like you said, we mentioned it on the last week's episode that Universal did this. It's not a big shock, but those are a lot of real estate. That's a lot of hours that we're losing.
Yeah.
Though there's word that some certain Disney World restaurants will be allowing dining reservations after close. So, for example, the two we know about right now are Oga's Cantina, which will be going until 8 p.m. In Hollywood Studios, and then Be Our Guest going until 7 p.m. Yeah. So if you have you got to get those reservations, but be on top of that. So Florida has dropped its travel restrictions of 14 days quarantine for New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, the tri-state area.
Oh, that's good for those Northerners coming down.
That's right. I guess less of a worry that they're going to be bringing COVID. I'm not sure if I think there's a quarantine from their end. If you were a visitor coming down from the tri-state area, spending your vacation in Florida and then going back up, I think you'd still have to quarantine when you get back there.
I believe that's correct.
So just so everybody's aware of that. Do you have any news?
Yeah, I got some fun news. It's never too early to have pumpkin spice.
Oh, it's the best.
And it's back. It's back at the beginning of August. It's being served at Joffrey's Coffee and Tea.
Okay, so they have it right now. They're not waiting until fall.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like they're starting earlier and earlier with the pumpkin spice. But if it sells, hey, so be it.
That's right. Hey, it's a quintessential fall drink. But,
that's right. I like pumpkin spice here and there, but mostly there.
Exactly. I like a little pumpkin spice, a little PSL when it's a little chillier out, and nice little warm drink to drink. I don't know if I'd have it in mid-August.
I agree.
Disney. But hey, whatever floats your boat.
Well, you know what? I'm absolutely okay with this. Halloween merchandise is actually starting to show up at all the parks.
There you go.
I think it's not too early to get a little festivities out since we're basically going through a really tough time, all of us. So nice to have a little Halloween cheer, and I assume as Halloween's over, we start selling some Christmas gear.
Probably trying to get as much merchandise as they can being sold.
Yeah, I don't blame them. And going to the other parks in the Orlando area, well, in Tampa Bay as well, SeaWorld and Busch Gardens, they have reported a whopping 98% attendance drop.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, but hopefully they're going to try to bring back some more people because they're going to take advantage of having the Howl-O-Scream event that's still going to be going on. There's not going to be haunted houses, but there's going to be Scare Zone, which is going to be kind of open air. So
okay, Howl-O-Scream, huh? That's the only ones who are going to be keeping it open.
So far, yes. I mean, everything's always subject to change.
Yeah.
The numbers are going down,
Right.
percentages wise. Like you mentioned to me, private hospitalizations have gone down as well.
That's right.
So
Encouraging signs, hopefully. Though
That's right.
We never know about the fall surge that we've all heard about.
that's true. So it's a day at a time here.
That's right. And we'll keep everybody updated as it comes.
And I know the NBA playoffs is occurring right now. And do you have any information about that?
Well, the NBA, they seem to be catching a lot of bass. If you've seen a lot of the NBA players on Instagram or on some of the pictures, there's a good article about it that the NBA players just, they're hauling in bass at the lake.
Yeah, I fished there multiple times with a guide at Magic Kingdom. And I must say, the bass fishing there is exceptional. You catch huge bass.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I didn't know, one, I didn't know there was bass there. Two, I didn't know that you could fish there.
Yeah, there's multiple places that you can actually go out in Epcot. You can go out in Port Orleans. But the best, I think, is having the bass fishing in front of Magic Kingdom in the bay there, or the little lagoon.
Right.
And, of course, no one's allowed to take any bass, so that place it's teeming with bass.
So is it catch and release?
Yeah, it's catch and release only.
Okay.
And you have to have a guide. You can't just go out there and fish on the shore or whatever. But you
From
can't
the
actually.
Grand Floridian?
No. You might want to watch out from fishing on the shore anyway.
Right.
But you can actually get a cane pole and go fish at Port Orleans, but it's only in a specific area.
Well, I want to go out and go to Discovery Island and throw a line out.
Yeah, you could go do that. You go right to it and drop in a line.
Interesting.
With a guide.
So, yeah, with a guide, obviously. Interesting. I did not know that. Apparently, some of the players were suspicious that the NBA had paid a lot of money to get it seeded with the bass, but apparently nobody's seeded it in decades. Really, they seeded it. They just put a lot of bass in there, and I think it was the late 70s, and it's just teeming with a bunch of bass now.
Yeah, they stocked it a long time ago, and there's no need to restock because they're doing great there.
Oh, well, interesting. Okay, well, what about, do you have any other news?
Yeah, I got some news about the restaurant group, the Patina Restaurant Group, which pretty much runs a lot of Italian places and some restaurants in downtown Disney, the Edison, Maria and Enzo's Ristorante, Enzo's Hideaway. These are the people, the Patina Restaurant Group, that owns or runs the Italian restaurants in the Epcot Pavilion. So they're all, the Edison, Maria and Enzo's Hideaway are all scheduled to open up on August 13th, which already happened when we recorded this podcast. And of course, these are nice places to go to. They've established good health codes and cleaning according to the health code. So
good, yeah, and it's good that those restaurants are opening up and not shutting down forever like we've seen.
Yeah, these are, like I said, I've had good times with these restaurants. Enzo Hideaway, really cool little bar.
Yep.
So
I haven't been to the Edison yet. It looks very cool, but I look forward to going down there sometime.
Have you been to the Hideaway?
I have. It's a very cool little place they have there, and it's a nice place.
Yeah, it is. As far as some other news, we're talking about the Rise of the Resistance ride.
Right.
That had some malfunction. It was down for a couple of days, possibly because of a lightning strike, but it's back up and running now.
Good.
You have any updates about any corona-related updates?
Yeah, so there's still no outbreaks reported from Disney World, which is really good news.
That's good.
Like you actually sent me the article, the Tampa Bay Times article that said that, the writer was saying that he felt safer at Disney World than the grocery store, which is mirroring what you had said last week about your Epcot visit.
Yeah, I think that person must have listened to our podcast. One of the 10 people that listened to our podcast
That's
copied me. Hey, I'm still here. I've been to other places, but I'm still here. And I don't think if I get corona right now, it's not going to be because of Disney World.
That's right. Yeah, so there's COVID testing at Disney, as opposed to just the temperature checks. It's going to be located at the main gate by Animal Kingdom. It's going to be free to the public, including cast members, though you will need to register.
Now, that's good.
Yeah, and I think that was a sticking point for the union, some of those actors unions, and so that might lead to them coming back.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I got some news about the new redesigning of Epcot, and a new book came out about monorails by Jeff Curdy, Vanessa Hunt, and Paul Waskey. Forgive me if I pronounce any of those names wrong.
Okay, sounds like a good book. Sounds like one I'd like it to read.
But at the very end of the book, they talk about a monorail ride, or I think it's really just a monorail experience at the Epcot's new Play Pavilion.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't really talk much about it, but it features that there is going to be some sort of monorail attraction there. You can't tell what it's going to be. Probably some sort of screen experience, maybe a 3D screen experience, because there isn't too much space in that particular Play Pavilion. But who knows? We'll see. We're still working on it, or still working on trying to get more information about it.
Yeah, and some of the concept art that you shared is pretty cool. I mean, it's like a futuristic type environment. We'll obviously see, like you said, there's not a lot of room there.
Yeah, Epcot has a lot of developments in the future, and it's very exciting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like Hollywood Studios was a few years ago before Galaxy's Edge and everything.
Yeah,
where essentially half the park is closed off and walled off, but it's worth the wait.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Of course, we're not going to see it as fast as we want to, but you got to play it safe. I understand you have some overseas news.
Shanghai Disney is expanding their capacity as well as updating their reservation system.
Well, that's good. I guess that's something we could probably see happening here in the future, right?
Yeah, and it looks similar to what we would expect. It's going to be a gradual increase in capacity. So right now it's 30% at Disney Hong Kong, and they're going to be increasing it to 50%. So I think, it's probably you have to expect that it's going to be mirroring what we will see in Walt Disney World when the time comes. Just a gradual introduction of more and more people to the park.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Okay.
So I have some good news, if you want to call it good news, about that Disney's actually extending their flexible cancellation policy throughout the end of the year. What this basically does is waiving any sort of fees or changing fees or cancellation fees for your reservation at a hotel up until your actual reservation. So you won't have to pay anything extra if you cancel your hotel or want to change it. So that's a good policy to have in place, especially until the end of the year.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's a good move on their part, and it's consumer friendly. So
yeah,
if you're not comfortable, then don't come. And I think that's good, because you have to think that if you're sick, and if you think you're sick and you're like, oh, well, I'd have to forfeit some sort of deposit, then you might be more willing to hold back on going if you're sick, and therefore make everybody safer, if you don't get those fees back. So if they're allowing those cancellations, that's a great thing.
No, it's a great thing for multiple reasons, as you mentioned.
Yeah. So, well, that's it for the news, everybody. That was a bunch of news. So they keep coming. I feel I say that every week.
Yeah.
But we'll keep everybody up to date. We'd like to move on to our deep dive.
Exciting.
Yeah. So our deep dive for this week is our favorite mixed drinks.
That's right. We're going to talk about our top 5 mixed drinks.
And so when I took this into consideration, I'm a big whiskey lover, especially bourbon. So this was tough for me because there's so many great options out there. And we did not limit it to the parks only. The adjoining Disney Springs, which is a great place for drinks and a good time like that. So what did you take into consideration, Jeff?
I am a big fan of whiskey. That's why my drink of choice at home, bourbon,
Right.
yes,
That's right.
leaning more towards rye whiskey. And that's why I kind of chose just a couple, maybe 1 or 2 whiskey drinks here. Looking at it, I only chose 1. Actually, no, 2 whiskey drinks. So, but when I'm at the parks, I want to have a selection. I want to have a variety.
Yeah.
Whatever fits my mood. So, and it may not be whiskey.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And they have a lot of great whiskey drinks, but they have so many other good drinks. And sometimes, like you said, you're in a different space. Maybe you had a good sizable thing to eat and you need a little dessert or some sweet cocktails. There's just a whole bunch. So,
That's right.
Yeah. So without further ado, I will start off and say that my number 5 is at Jock Lindsay's, the venerable place at Disney Springs.
One of my favorite bars / restaurants.
Yeah, very, very cool bar / restaurant. I don't know if I've had much more than appetizers. I don't even know if they have much more than appetizers there, but definitely had a lot of drinks. And my drink is going to be the Mayor's Reserve. It's Woodford Reserve bourbon, black brandy, simple syrup, and fresh lemon juice.
I always love me some Woodford Reserve.
Yeah, and I can't turn that down. It's overall just a great drink. It's got the bourbon, which is sweeter whiskey. It's got blackberry brandy, a little syrup. It's sweeter, but it's not too sweet. It's still pretty level-headed. Got a lot of those fruit type flavors. It's delicious drink.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I enjoy that too when I'm actually at the Jock Lindsay bar right at downtown Disney.
That's right. So what about your number 5?
My number 5, I got to go with a whiskey. It's the Maple Old Fashioned, and that is located at the Ale and Compass Bar inside the Yacht Club Hotel, which is unfortunately because the Yacht Club is closed right now. I'm not sure if the hotel is closed, but I know the Ale and Compass Bar is closed.
That's right.
We still have the Florida regulation where you can't serve alcohol at bars, so maybe that's probably the reason why the Ale and Compass is closed. But the Maple Old Fashioned is a good take on the old fashioned. I prefer, if I'm going to drink an old fashioned, I like just a regular old fashioned. But if I'm at the Yacht Club, you gotta have the little take on it. The Maple Old Fashioned, it has Jim Beam black extra aged bourbon, orange juice, Angostura bitters, and of course a little bit of maple syrup. This satisfies my sweet tooth, kind of like what you had up there, but while not being so sweet either, or at least
exactly.
too sweet.
And old fashions are probably my favorite mixed kind of like standard drink. So that one sounds good. I don't know if I've had this. We went there for your bachelor party. I think.
We did.
Yeah. And
I guess some of us didn't remember.
Well, that was pretty early, so I think I would have remembered that one. Now, a little bit later, no promises.
If I told you we returned back there, would you believe?
I would believe you, but I don't think it happens. But it may have happened.
Yeah. You're still too old of men to go back to the same place again for another drink.
But
so what's your number 4?
Great bar. My number 4 is the Nutty Irishman at the Brown Derby. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is one of those sweeter drinks, a little bit of a dessert drink. It's got Bailey's Irish Cream and Frangelico topped with whipped cream.
Yeah, it sounds very nutty to me.
That's right. Yeah, it is. It's got the whatever it is, hazelnut. It's a delicious drink. It's a little bit
nutty.
Yeah, it's usually a way for dessert to have that, and it's not something you can have a lot of, but it's a delicious drink.
It does sound like a nice, delicious dessert because I like to have Bailey's on the rocks. But if you mix the Frangelico with the whipped cream, sounds delicious. I'll have to go there and try some.
Highly recommended. What about you? What's your number 4?
My number 4, I'm going to Trader Sam's Grog Grotto. That's located at the Polynesian Resort. And I'm getting the Krakatoa Punch.
Ooh, I have not had that. Tell me.
It's delicious. Maybe I have more of a sweet tooth than I have for a whiskey tooth. However, this is a particular one that I have to have because I want the volcano to go off while in Trader Sam's.
Oh,
So
does it make it go off?
Yeah, you order this drink, and if a person hasn't ordered this drink and within the past couple of minutes the volcano hasn't gone off, the volcano will go off when you order this punch or when it's finished being made, and the whole room, where I guess the kind of faces the effects of the volcano, the lights go dim, and you hear the volcano sounds, and you look at the picture on the wall, and the volcano goes off. In this particular drink, you have some delicious Sailor Jerry spice rum, Pirate XO Reserve rum, Orgeat, or Orgeat, not sure how to pronounce that. It's basically an almond liqueur, and Sam's Gorilla Grog. And also, I think with a little bit of hibiscus grenadine in it as well, it is a sweet tooth lover's delight with all that rum in there.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like one of those good tropical type drinks. What is Sam's Gorilla Grog?
I think it's some sort of mixed fruit punch. I'm not really exactly sure. Maybe you have to have some bartender come up. I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of Disney's secretive recipe they can't give out. But I think it's a mix of fruit punch and some sort of other maybe possible liqueurs. But I think it's really just their own take on a fruit punch.
Well, if I remember anything from college, I will say that those are usually the most dangerous drinks.
They are pretty dangerous, and mostly because the price is so high. I think it's over $15 a shot.
It's one of those you'd rather not remember.
And if you want to buy it in the tiki glass, that just ups the price, maybe even double.
Do you have a tiki glass?
I do.
Okay. I do not have one. Like I said in previous ones, I have not actually had a drink there. I've been inside, but I have not had a drink at Trader Sam's. So
we'll have to go. We'll have to do the monorail tour.
That's right. I want to see the volcano go off too.
That's right. There's going to be so many volcanoes going off.
Well, good. That all sounds good.
Yeah. So what's your number 3?
Mine is at the Great Bar in Abracadabra in Boardwalk area.
It's like a magic theme bar, right?
Yeah. Have you been there?
I have, but I haven't ordered a drink there, actually.
Oh, really? It's just, it is probably one of the best. It's got a lot of craft cocktails, so it has really one of the best lineups and selections of drinks that I've had there. And I've had several drinks at this bar. I highly recommend it. So in this particular drink is the Sour Assistant. It's Brooklyn Distilling 77 whiskey. It's great whiskey. When it's made with the house-made sweet and sour.
Ooh, sounds good. I bet you make that disappear pretty fast.
That's right. I don't need an assistant to help with that. I can do it all on my own.
Sure of that.
But yeah, highly recommend that drink as well as Abracadabra. What about you? What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the Wild Strawberry Margarita, and that is located at the Chozo de Margarita, which is the margarita booth at Epcot, which is right outside the Mexican Pavilion. It is filled with tequila, strawberry, prickly pear puree. Say that 5 times fast. And Leger Cassis.
That does sound good. I don't know if I've had the strawberry margarita. I've had plenty of margaritas at the Mexican Pavilion.
I like the avocado one. But I thought you were going to put that on your list, so that's what I did with the Wild Strawberry Margarita.
Yeah, I definitely it was on there. It probably would have been the honorable mention because it's delicious. Really, I couldn't choose between that or the jalapeno margarita, and I didn't want to choose just one and make the other one feel left out.
All right, so it's your number 2. Have I cut you off again?
No, you're good. My number 2 is across the pond at the Grand Marnier slushy at Epcot at the French Pavilion.
Oh,
yep, it is. We've talked about it in past, but it is a great and delicious slushy. It'll cool you off during those hot Florida days. It is Grand Marnier, orange juice, and Grey Goose. And you can get a floater on top of that. And it's with a little bit extra. It's delicious. It's great for a good hot day, which
Absolutely.
most of the days in Florida are.
Yeah.
They have another slushy type drink, but the Grand Marnier is the delicious one. I like the orange flavor to it.
Yeah, that pretty much makes my list too, and a different version of it, but we'll talk about that soon.
Okay, good. Well, what about your number 2?
My number 2, I'm going to your bar there, the Jock Lindsay Hangar Bar,
Okay.
and I'm getting myself an Air Pirates Mule. You know, I know you used to like to have Moscow Mules,
Mm-hmm.
but this one,
good Moscow Mule is fantastic.
it is good, and this is a great take on the Moscow Mule, but it uses Knob Creek bourbon, single barrel reserve bourbon instead of vodka.
Oh, I like that.
Is a great take instead of, because I'm not much of a vodka fan. I prefer, as I said before, a nice whiskey, a nice bourbon, and it mixes the bourbon with lime juice topped with Fever Tree ginger beer.
That does sound good. I like that. I like the idea. I'm a bourbon guy, like I said, and I agree with you. Love bourbon more than vodka. That sounds delicious.
So what's your number 1?
Well, my number 1 is going to be and I'm going to butcher this, but Sakura Jima.
Bless you.
It is at the Takumite, the new Japanese restaurant that we discussed. You have not been there, right?
No, I have not. Thanks for reminding me.
And they are not open yet.
That sucks for me.
Okay. I know it's once they open it back up, it's a great place to go. But this is one of the ones that this is one of the drinks that they had that they recommended to us when not maybe a few weeks after they opened up and we went. I think it was the last fall, but it has the KO Japanese whiskey sour with smoked cherry wood.
Something I would like to get when I visit there one of these days.
Mm-hmm. They put it in there and they do the smoking right in front of you. They bring the contraption that they put the drink inside of, and then they proceed to,
really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And they have the cherry wood and they smoke it right there in front of you. It's good. And Japanese whiskey is I'm not giving it much of a chance before that, and once I started having it, it's really good. It's delicious.
Yeah, real smooth. They make a delicious whiskey over there.
So that is my number 1. It's great. What about you?
My number 1, maybe should make this list because it's a seasonal item, but I love it so much because we talked about how many times Florida has more hot days than cold days or cooler days. And it's the La Vie and Rosé frozen slushy. This is located at Epcot, usually during the Food and Wine Festival, at the food booth there. Obviously not there all the time. It's filled with vodka, which is a Grey Goose vodka. It has the little orange vodka, the Saint Germain liqueur, which is absolutely delicious, elderflower liqueur, and white and red cranberry juice. It's quite refreshing when it's so hot out in the middle of Epcot. And that's what makes it my number 1.
That is a great choice.
Thank you.
I could use that right now.
I think we all can.
Well, good. Yeah, that sounds great. I'll let you slide since it's seasonal. Seasonal. No, I think that's great, and I love these. And like always, when we do the food or drink ones, it makes me just want more. Yeah. I want them now.
Yeah, we need to find a new topic for next recording. Nothing to do with food and drinks.
Well, those are the ones we're experts in, but we'll find something else.
That's true. We'll do it.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else for us, Jeff?
No, I have nothing else to add.
Okay. Well, that was a great trip around Disney, thinking about some of the best drinks that they have, some of the best cocktails that they have. Well, like always, please rate us on iTunes. Put those 5 stars there. Write a comment. We'll respond. join us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want to have your social media, and we're there. And make sure to get in touch with us. We love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Take care.